Assalamu alaikum students. In today's video we will study about light. We will see the two phenomena of light, that is reflection of light and refraction of light. We will also see how images are formed in a plane mirror and in a human eye. Let us see what is the definition of reflection of light. What do you mean by reflection of light? Reflection of light takes place when light falls on a flat, smooth surface. Reflection of light is maximum when the surface is polished surface. When light is allowed to fall on a smooth surface, as you can see it in the image, the ray is falling on that mirror. So what happens when it reaches the mirror? The surface is a smooth polished surface, so the light gets reflected. What do you mean by reflection? Reflection means the phenomenon of bouncing back of light. And when does this bouncing back of light takes place? The bouncing of light takes place when it strikes or when the light ray hits on a smooth surface. Now you notice one thing here, that in this reflection the light rays are coming back in the same medium. That means light is falling from the air, it's striking the surface, the plane surface, that's the mirror here, and it is getting reflected back in the air only. So the medium does not change here in reflection. The light in fact bounces back in the same medium. Now here the diagram is the ray diagram, where you have different parts of the ray diagram for reflection. Let's see each one in detail. The ray of light which falls on the surface is called as incident ray. In the diagram, the incident ray is coming down, the arrow is going downwards and it is falling on the surface. So that is the incident ray. Then how to define reflected ray? The incident ray bounces back in the same medium after striking the reflecting surface. That ray is called as reflected ray. Now there is a point where the incident ray and the reflected ray is meeting. In the diagram, that point is shown as point P. So the point on the surface where incident ray and reflected ray, they both meet each other, or incident ray strikes or hits and reflected ray bounces, that point is called as point of incidence. Now you can see a line which is in the center and a name normal is written on it. So what is this normal line? Normal line is a straight line, means it makes an angle 90 degree with the surface. That means the normal line is perpendicular to the surface. Perpendicular means it makes 90 degrees. It's a straight line. So a line drawn perpendicular to reflecting surface, and where does that point touch the surface? It touches the surface at the point of incidence. That ray is called as normal ray. Now if you see in the diagram, two angles are made on either side of the normal. So one angle is formed between incident ray and normal, and it's written there I. So the angle between incident ray and normal is called as angle of incidence. That is angle I. There is one more angle which is formed on right hand side of the normal, and that is given by R. So So the angle between the normal and the reflected ray is the angle of reflection. So these are the parts of the ray diagram of reflection of light. There is also a law of reflection. The law of reflection says that when the light is getting reflected, the angle of incidence is always equals to angle of reflection. That means here also you see there's a normal in the center, then the incident ray and the normal is making an angle of incidence, that is I, to the left, and an angle R is made between normal and angle of and reflected ray, that is angle of reflection. By seeing, you can judge that angle I is equals to angle R. That is the law of reflection, that both the angles are always equal. That means if angle of incidence is 40 degrees, angle of reflection will also be 40 degrees. The second, there is one more law of reflection. It says that the incident ray normal to the mirror at the point of incidence and the reflected ray, they all are in the same plane. That means they are all on the same side of the surface. Okay, the light reflects back in the same surface. It comes back, bounces back in the same medium. Now let's see how images are formed on a plane mirror where the reflection of light takes place. So you can see the central line, the straight central line, dark green in color, is the plane mirror. What is a plane mirror? There are different types of mirror: concave mirror, convex mirror, plane mirrors. Okay, so we are talking about the plane mirror. Yes, the one which we use at our home on the furniture, the one which we have, we see our images in that. That's a plane mirror. The mirror which is used on vehicles, that is a different mirror. Okay, it's convex mirror. So depending on its application, the mirrors are used. So here we are talking about how images are formed by reflection on a plane mirror. So if you keep an object in front of a mirror, what happens is there is a bottle to the left. Let's see the point A in the diagram. There a bottle is kept at point A, and now when light falls, when can we see an object? We can see an object when there is light around it, around the object, around us. You cannot see anything if there is darkness everywhere. You can only see an object when there is light around it. So here the light around there is light everywhere around the bottle. So what happens is those light rays, they fall on the plane mirror and they get reflected back. And these reflected rays reach our eyes and we can see that bottle. Actually, if you see the diagram, there are dotted lines which are drawn on the right hand side of the plane mirror, where the rays are forming an image behind the mirror too at point C. Okay, so an image is formed when by reflection, when two or more rays, they meet at a single point, and the image is formed at the point of intersection of the reflected rays. Okay, so here many lights, two or more lights, they come together, they meet a single point, they get reflected, and the image is formed. Now let's see how image is formed by a human eye. Yes, our eyes is also having a lens. There we say we have an eyeball, and then inside we have a black color. Yes, circle inside our eyeball. Okay, it contains lens. It's called as lens. And what does this lens do? It's a kind of, it works like a mirror. All right, and the shape of the lens is convex, both the sides. Now, how is image formed in a human eye? Let's see. See this diagram very carefully. So, if you are seeing a girl standing, what happens is the light rays from the sun, from the girl, they come, and these rays, they reach the eye, and when it reaches the lens of an eye, it forms an image behind the lens. The inner part of the eye is called as retina, so it's formed over there. But when the image is formed in our eye behind the lens, that is on a retina, then we get an inverted image. An inverted image is seen behind a lens. Then this signal, there's optic nerve written behind that inverted image. Inverted means upside down. Okay, that message from the optic nerves reaches the brain, and then the brain interprets the image, and it then interprets the image as a straight image. That inverted image, again, when it is interpreted by the brain, we see a straight image. So this is the basic. Actually, the process, the whole thing is very deep, which you don't have in your syllabus, but then yeah, you should actually know the basic thing, that image is formed in a human eye, that is formed on a retina, and it is an inverted image, and then the brain interprets the image, and then we can see a straight, the correct object. Okay, we can identify and we can see the correct object. So this was about reflection of light. Now let's move on to what is refraction of light. Now the major difference between reflection and refraction is that in reflection the light bounces back in the same medium. But here in refraction, refraction takes place when the light passes from one medium to another medium. Now what do you mean by medium here? You can see it in the image that the light rays are passing from the air. So air is medium 1 and it is going in medium 2. So medium 2 here is water. So what is happening to that red light? Red line, you can see that red line is representing the light ray. It's not going in a straight line, neither it is getting reflected, it's not going back in the air, but instead light is passing from air to water, but then it is bending, it is changing its direction when it is changing the medium. So this bending or change of direction of light when it passes from one medium to another medium is called refraction of light. Example, the refraction of light takes place when the light rays travel from air to water. Now, where is refraction of light used? It is used in designing and building lenses. Now, why does the light bend? Why does the refraction takes place? Because when light is traveling through air, the particles in the air, yes, it's a gaseous medium. So the particles, the light will pass at different speed in air. But when it comes in water, then the speed is reduced. Okay, the speed of light changes. The speed of light is different in air and different in water. That's the reason why refraction of light takes place. So bending of light when it passes from one medium to another is refraction of light. Now there are rules of refraction, or these are the reasons why refraction takes place. Yes, refraction takes place when the medium changes, because as I said, speed of light is different in different medium or in different states of matter. The speed of light is different in solids, different in liquids, different in gases. So here, since speed changes, refraction takes place. And in refraction, if you draw a straight line, the angle of incidence and the angle of refraction is formed on both the sides, on either sides of the normal. So in refraction, the light ray bends towards the normal. And if it might happen that light is increasing when it's passing from one medium to another, then the light ray bends away from the normal. This is the ray diagram of refraction of light. So in reflection, we had seen that the incident ray and reflected ray was on the same side of the boundary or of the surface, but here the incident ray is passing from substance 1 to substance 2, or from medium 1 to medium 2. Here also we can consider that the medium 1, substance 1 is the air and substance 2 is water. So here you can see that the incident ray is going inside the water, it is changing the medium. So refraction of light takes place. Okay, so here the rays will be the ray which is falling on the boundary, that is called as the incident ray, and while the ray which is going in the other medium, that is the refracted ray. So in reflection, it's a reflected ray. Here the word refracted ray is used. Then two angles are formed on either side of the normal. The angle which is formed between the normal and incident ray is the angle of incidence, while the angle which is formed between the normal and refracted ray is called as the angle of refraction. Here you might have noticed one thing, that the angle of incidence and angle of refraction, they are different. They are never same, because they are changing the speed. The speed of light is changing when the medium changes. So these two angles are never equal. And here the refracted ray, it is bending towards the normal. So it came closer to the normal. So angle of refraction is smaller than angle of incidence here. So this happens when the speed of light decreases. So speed of light is more in air, but when it falls in the water, when it goes in the water, the speed of light reduces. So when the speed of light reduces, the angle, refracted angle, it bends towards the normal. So this was about reflection and refraction of light. Thank you, students.